Greetings and blessings to all. Today I'm talking about how dogs teach us not to argue. So I've already acquired the consciousness not to argue anymore with anybody. It is an entire waste of valuable energy that could be being used to better yourself. Also, the way the system has been set up is so there is no unity, is so there is no love. So we'll get emotional and upset about things that actually do not matter, on the grand scale of things. When you actually think about the future, you think about how things are going to end up. For example, if you look at the way a fox behaves, a fox will not just attack anything. He will very, very precisely and clearly weigh up the situation, so that if he does or she does attack and try to get a kill for their family, they don't hurt themselves. But what they're doing in that moment is they're thinking about their family. They're not thinking just about themselves. They're thinking, if I hurt myself or if I get hurt, I can no longer protect and provide for my family. I met a dog yesterday called Chopper, and he was a funny guy. This dog was around the same age as my dog, and he still had his balls, and so does my dog. So initially I was thinking to myself, this could possibly be a fight, because my dog had no lead and his dog had no lead, and the way that they were a little bit standoffish, it was kind of starting to look like it could turn into a fight. But it didn't. And it was amazing to see, because it was literally like they conversated and said to each other, we're both too old for this. This is gonna have some detrimental effects, some life-changing effects if we go for this. And they're dogs. We're meant to be higher life forms. Yet dogs can look at each other and be like, yo, this isn't worth it. So let's not do this. If you look at a pack of dogs, they squabble, they bicker, but they don't argue, because arguments are often fatal between dogs, or can end up with life-changing injuries being stuck to them. They understand that they are family and that they need to stick together. They need to be together so that they can lift each other in times of need. They understand that some things are just not worth arguing about. Another thing I see with dogs, in a pack, once the point has been made, they separate. They give each other space. That's emotional disconnect. Dogs. Yet we people are happy to just argue and argue and not think about any of the repercussions. Yeah, not think about what's going to take place later on down the line. Yet you're a higher life form, and as time goes on, you gain more and more knowledge. A lot of the problem is a lot of people have nothing to do. Yeah, they've got themselves into a state where they believe that they are happy, but you're doing nothing. You're not improving yourself in any kind of way. You're not using any of your energy for anything beneficial. So, because their life is boring, which is really sad, yeah, because like my life isn't entertaining, like, but I can still very, very clearly see where that line needs to be cut and how it is an entire waste of my energy, my knowledge, and also just getting myself into some sort of physical and mental state where I am disturbed, nobody else. So yeah, dogs very clearly show us that an argument is not worth it. And for the dog, it's very, very important because they know that they are going to need their pack. So they weigh the situation up and think to themselves, like, is this actually worth it? No, it's not. Yet humans are happy to argue about nonsense and not think about what might take place later on. Not think about the connections it may break. Not think about the loneliness it may cause. Not think about the relationships it may destroy. And also not think about the knock-on effect that has for your children, yeah, and the way that they're going to behave. Dogs are incredible creatures. They teach us so much if you're observant and you pay attention to the way that they live. It's another reason that God is in their name. Because to argue is pointless. A debate is different because you have emotional disconnect. When you speak, you're speaking to listen. It's another thing. Dogs, they don't really speak over each other. When they conversate, one of them shuts up and listens. They don't listen to respond. If you listen to respond, you haven't entirely heard or understood what the other person is saying. All you actually care about is your voice being heard. Whereas, in actual fact, if you really loved the person that you were speaking to and beginning to argue with, you would stop yourself from arguing, you would stop yourself from responding emotionally, and you would listen to what that person you love has to say. And then you would try and really, really put yourself in that other person's position. See where they are coming from. Find and create a solution. People do not understand that your emotions, and especially when you're arguing, all you do is segregate, separate, and dissipate anything that is special or anything that is meant to be everlasting. Dogs teach us a lot. Don't waste your energy arguing. Yeah. If you're going to waste your energy on anything, waste it on creating harmony. Another thing that dogs do beautifully. Have a blessed day.